Hey, good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to Fretboard Forensics with me, Reese Gerwin. Today is about never getting lost on the fretboard again. But in order to do that, you need to understand how the fretboard works. Now, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes mental effort, it takes some physical effort, although I think it's actually, for most people, more mental effort, which is why guitar players tend not to learn this, because it's not playing the guitar. It doesn't have as much to do with playing. However, you can use charts like these ones in order to do that. So, what we're dealing with today is arpeggios, triad arpeggios / chords. Because you can see that these are meant to be played like arpeggios, that's how they're kind of written, but you could play them as chords. These are really designed to be played however you like, okay? So we have the 7 positions for each fingering area. We got our pointer, E index major, E middle major, E pinky major, A index major, A middle major, A pinky major, D index major. Okay, there's like a scale for each one of those. This is how the entire book is formatted. Now this is the 12 pitch circle. So it's just showing you what the chord, the major triad, looks like when it's on a 12 note circle. You could plug any notes into here and you would get the appropriate notes for each major triad. C, this would be an E and then a G, because you have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, G, sorry, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B, A sharp, B, C. Okay, it's a chromatic circle, so it goes chromatically. This shows you the interval construction, so the root, the major third, the perfect fifth. So the root is just whatever note you're starting with. In this case, we're actually gonna use an E flat chord. Okay, this is not gonna be the easiest for people who are not familiar with doing this. Okay, so if this is super difficult for you, then practice this. Although, you don't necessarily have to be able to do that. It just, I'm gonna use it as an example, and it'll help you understand nonetheless. So, diatonic functions, 1, 4, 5 in major, major 3, major 6, major 7, and then you can have the 5 in a harmonic minor, in a minor key. So this is kind of telling you like how they function in a key. Your keys have a 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, and the 1, 4, and the 5 are major in a major key, and the 3, 6, and 7 are major in a minor key. Unless, of course, you're in harmonic minor, which means your 5 can be major, basically. But that's kind of a different subject for a different video. We're gonna go up the fretboard with this E flat major. So it's like a D, right? It's like I'm playing a D with my pinky, ring, and middle finger, and then I'm gonna move it up 1 fret. So the reason this relates to not getting lost, you'll see in a second. So my root, now I'm reading this diagram here, my root, and I have to play this with my pinky because, I mean, you only have so many fingers, right? So I got 4 fingers, so I'm playing this root with my pinky, root with my index finger. So this is your E flat right here. This note is the B flat, and this note is the G. Now, if you plug the notes into the circle right here, so you plug the E flat, the G, and the B flat in there, and you'll realize that this is not structured in the way that this triangle is structured, right? It doesn't go from E flat to G to B flat, because we got E flat, B flat, E flat, G. But you do see right here, if you go up here to this, what is that, 6th fret? So you got E flat, G, B flat, okay? You got E flat, G, B flat, right? And then this would be B flat and G down here. So It's listed in order, but the way we're playing it is not in order. It's like you would play a normal D chord, except it's raised up a half step, because we're going to move up the neck. We're going to play an E flat major up the neck. And this is how you get to know the fretboard in a deeper way, by understanding how moving up the neck affects the shapes. If you've ever found yourself kind of lost jamming with people or trying to find chord voicings in different parts of the neck, there's lots of things that this can help with, but it's a good exercise to do before you get to, you know, playing any music. It's kind of like a warm-up. So our first chord here, we're gonna read right to left, bottom to top to move up the neck. So our next shape looks like a C shape, kind of in the cage system. So we got this one, and now we have in third position, with my pointer finger on the 3rd fret, we have this shape, okay? Doesn't look a whole lot different, but you can see that it's looking more like a C now. All right, it's looking more like a C. And what we're gonna do is stick to the G, the D, G, B, and the E string. So just D, G, B, and E, and then we got D, G, B, and E. Now, you also have doubled notes, okay? So in this one, the doubled note is an E flat. So E flat, B flat, E flat, G. And then we have a G, B flat, E flat, G. So we got a double G. And then if you put the B flat there, then you actually have doubled the B flat now. So you got G, B flat, E flat, B flat. Okay, moving on to the next one. So the way you can sort of find this is you have to know the notes on the fretboard. This is a really good exercise and purpose behind knowing the notes on the fretboard, is knowing how to transpose shapes. This is what I call shape transposition, or another word that's more theory-like is inversion. So we're dealing with inversion, shape transposition, because the shapes don't always, guitar is very unique in this way. It's like a grid with a bunch of shapes on it. So you learn those shapes and where to put your fingers on those shapes, and you know actually a lot more about the guitar than you did before. We got our E flat on the 8th fret of the G string. So we went from here, now we're here. And then, pretty straightforward. You could also technically double the G here. So we got G, E flat, G, B flat. Or we have B flat, E flat, G, B flat. Next one could be like this. So it's kind of the same shape. The funny thing about the caged system, well, I guess it's the funny thing about my system, because the caged system is really great. It's just I chose a modern method for guitar. That's kind of where I learned this concept from. I don't know if that's the way they approach it on purpose, but nonetheless, there's 7 positions for all things instead of 5. Now, that doesn't mean it makes sense to play all 7 positions and only use those. This is just like this is more about getting to know all the possibilities that you can possibly imagine, because I've noticed over my 20 years of playing guitar that like there's some shapes that work better than others, and some of the ones that are not included in the cage system work better for some things, and so on and so forth. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. So here's this next shape. The fingering would be kind of whack for most people, but I'm on the 8th fret, so I'm in like 7th position with my pointer finger on the 7th fret, and I'm barring with my ring finger. And I got my B flat, E flat, G, just like the other one, and then now I have the E flat on top with my pinky. Anyway, that's the next position. And moving on. In this case, just before we move on, B flat, E flat, G, E flat, or B flat, E flat, G, B flat, B flat, E flat, G, B flat. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're getting to like, this would be like the A shape, right? These two would be with the A shape, and that's kind of to my point earlier, where the cage system sort of just consolidates these two in a way. into one shape. And it's the same with these E shape right here. You can see that there's kind of an E or F shape, just depending on how you're thinking about it. That's the magic of the caged system, is you can change your thinking and take them away. This is pretty much the same idea, is you're just taking shapes and you're changing the notes in them to discover more. So here's the G shape. And now we're in 8th position, or like 9th position, if you want to get technical. So here we are, same notes as we had in 7th position, but now it just feels more comfortable. So we got B flat, E flat, G natural, E flat. You could also just do a little power chord up here. You got your B flat, E flat, B flat, E flat. Next one, your E shape, and that's in 10th position. Got E flat, G, B flat, E flat. Good thing I have a cutout, right? And then if we go past 12th fret, if you go back to the start, like right to left, bottom to top, then you'll make it back to this shape in the octave higher than we started. So E flat and E flat, root position. So the reason this can help you not get lost is because part of the reason you are getting lost in the fretboard is that you just don't really know where the notes are and how the shapes correspond to where the notes are. So in this case, as you go through these shapes, you want to focus on where the root is. I think that's very helpful. There's other ways to do it, like you could focus on where the 3rd is, or where the 5th is, or if you're dealing with the 7th chord, or whatever. You can take this to like many levels, but let's just keep it simple. So the root is on the D string and the B string in this shape. In the next shape, the root is still on the B string. In the next shape, root's on the G. So the root's kind of moving down, down. This is down on the guitar, this is up. And then we have now E flat on the E string, still on the G string. So we had it on the B string, now we have it on the G string, and then we have it on the E string now, and then it's on the E string and the D string. And then we have it on the D string and the B string again. So another thing you can do is add the major scale to that. So let's say you watched one of my other videos about all these major scale positions and you're like, well, maybe I want to play the scale. Right, okay. This guitar is hard to play. All right, and then we got sort of playing around a little bit. You don't always have to play the major scale up and down. And then we got this one. Whoa, stretchy. Wow, my chops. Oh my god. Okay. I suck. Just kidding. Yeah. So then we got the G. And then we have this. So that in itself can be a very powerful exercise. Now, you got to play some real music, obviously, to turn on a backing track or apply it to a song that you know. All this knowledge must be applied to musical situations. What I like to do is write exercises, use this stuff over songs that I already know. I play a lot of jazz standards, so I will often just try to incorporate them somehow into that. And Patterns are always helpful. A lot of the exercises I write sort of use patterns, but they're not always like that. They're a great way to increase your vocabulary and to just sort of become a better improviser. It's incredibly valuable to know all your triads on the fretboard. Yeah, there's a lot here that you could benefit from, but that's all I got for you right now. Thanks for watching. I'm at 300 subscribers. Happened pretty quickly, and I really appreciate all of you for subscribing. It makes a big difference. It motivates me to release more of this free content that I hope is helping you become a better player. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.